Bluebells forever. After the closure of the Ardingly branch in 1963, many thought the Bluebell Railway would suffer due to the lack of a mainline connection. I'm glad to say this wasn't the case. Like a flower, the railway blossomed into something that had never been seen before, even inspiring other societies to reopen previously closed lines and save engines from the cutter's torch. As the years went by, the railway gradually began to expand, not just in motive power, but in distance too. Their first expansion project was to a station called Kingscote. It was reopened in 1994, and since then it was the railway's most northern point. That is, until 2013. 4 miles further north was the town of East Grinstead, and another way to connect back to the main line. "After all these years, I never thought I'd see the day," cried Bluebell. "We're going to have a mainline connection again." "I can't believe it either," added Birch Grove. "Why, the last time we had a mainline connection, I was painted brown and was upset about a children's book." "Are you sure you're still not upset about it? You're looking a little green to me, Birch Grove," chuckled Fenchurch. The 3 engines laughed, but were cut short by a familiar whistle. At that moment, a sorry-looking Stepney puffed past them, accompanied by Captain Baxter. "Come on, Stepney," soothed Baxter. "We're nearly home." Stepney didn't answer. He was too puffed out and was focused more on keeping their train moving. "He can't keep going on like this," Birch Grove muttered gravely. "I agree," sighed Fenchurch. "Stepney is certainly starting to show signs of wear through his age. And that's alarming, because I'm older than him." "At least he's still in steam. You haven't run in 2 years now, Fenchurch," Bluebell refuted. "True, but my boiler ticket expired after 10 years of service. Stepney re-entered service 3 years ago, but is running like he's been in service for triple the time. Also, that was quite hostile of you, if I do say so myself." "I'm sorry, Fenchurch. I just hate seeing Stepney like this. It makes me worry he might end up in pieces like Primrose, waiting for another overhaul." Before either Fenchurch or Birch Grove could say anything, Nettle, who was Bluebell's other sister that joined the railway later on, puffed up giddy with excitement. "Sorry to break up this conversation, you 3, but my driver just told me that the manager wants us to return to Sheffield Park right away. Apparently, he has a big announcement to make." Before anyone could say anything else, Nettle darted away, giggling like a naughty schoolgirl. "Oh, I suppose we'd better follow her, Bluebell," said Birch Grove as he rolled his eyes. "Okay. We'll see you later, Fenchurch. Sorry you can't come with us." "It's okay, Bluebell. I don't mind being on display for visitors here, although we could do with a bit of shelter on the wetter days. Maybe the Railway Society will build another shed to keep us out-of-use engines in someday," he laughed. Bluebell gave a reassuring chuckle and promptly followed the other 2 engines to Sheffield Park. When the 3 engines arrived, they were met with the other in-service engines and the current general manager. "Ladies, gentlemen, and engines, it is my honor to announce that after 50 years since being disconnected from the main line, we have officially reached East Grinstead. The workmen laying the track from either side of the extension officially connected either side a little while ago." Everyone cheered with joy, and all of the engines whistled with excitement. When the noise finally died down, the manager had more news to share with them. "There's still a few more things left to check out before we can officially open the line to regular running, but I want to announce the plans I have for our grand opening. Since we weren't able to have one of our first two engines ready to recreate the first ever train at our 50th anniversary gala, I'm tasking Stepney and Bluebell to take the first southbound service from East Grinstead. Our first northbound service will be taken by Richie before he goes in for some repairs in the workshop, he announced, turning to the U-class tender engine, who was slightly embarrassed at the attention he was receiving. Until then, I want you all to carry on as normal. We can't afford to have any inconveniences, finished the manager. He walked away, leaving everyone to chatter excitedly to one another. I'm glad we'll be able to recreate our first run together this time, Bluebell, Stepney wheezed as he puffed alongside. It'll be just like the old days. Are you sure you don't want to be repainted into black with white lettering like me? Thanks for the offer, old friend, but I much prefer my new and improved blue livery. It makes me stand out more than I ever did compared to when I was wearing that black livery. Stepney laughed before heading back to the sheds. Bluebell watched him intently. She couldn't help but notice, even when moving light engine, Stepney was wincing in pain. This made her concerned for their special train together, and if Stepney was truly up to the task. Her concerns were heightened the morning of the grand reopening. As the engines woke up, they were shocked to be greeted with the sight of snow blanketing the entire station yard. As volunteers checked to make sure none of the points were frozen, Stepney and Bluebell were prepared by their crews for their historical jaunt up the extension. A little while later, they were given the all-clear. Come along, Bluebell. We still need to get the coaches from the carriage shed. As Stepney moved off, however, there was an almighty bang. Ouch! Cried Stepney, before stopping abruptly in a cloud of smoke. His crew, some workmen, and the manager all huddled around him to see what was wrong, as Bluebell and the other engines watched on anxiously. Looks to be a leak in his main steam pipe, sir, concluded one of the workmen. It's not too bad at the moment, but taking a full train will be tough for him. The manager mopped the sweat from his forehead. Oh dear, this would have to happen on today of all days, quivered the manager. I'm sorry, Stepney, but I don't think it's a good idea to have you take this train. No, Stepney uttered defeatedly. Sir, please, I need to do this. I was the first engine on the line. It's only right that I see us over the new extension. But Stepney, you heard what the workman said. It will be too tough for you to take the train. He won't be alone, sir, interrupted Bluebell. I will be there to help him. True, Bluebell, but if Stepney fails, the whole train will be left on your buffers. I know 2 heads are better than 1, but then why not make it 3 heads? They all looked over to Birch Grove, who had puffed forward. Stepney and Bluebell may have taken the first train together, but it was me and Stepney who took the last train along a mainline connection for this railway. I'm sure the 3 of us together can handle the train easily. Very well. Please fetch the coaches, Birch Grove. Stepney and Bluebell will meet you at the station. Oh, thank you so much. And thank you, Birchie. You're welcome, Stepney. Consider us even for when you cheered me up all those years ago. He smiled as he puffed off to fetch the coaches. It wasn't long before the engines were soon ready. Stepney led in front, with Bluebell behind him and Birch Grove closest the train. Good luck, you 3. I'll see you at East Grinstead. Do what you can to help, Stepney, but don't exert yourself. At the first sign of trouble, please stop immediately. Okay, sir, but there's no need to worry. We'll get there and be right on time. The manager gave a reassuring nod before walking away to his car. Are you 2 ready? Called Birch Grove. Yes, replied Bluebell. Me too, answered Stepney. The guard blew his whistle, and together the 3 engines got the empty coaches into motion. They were soon puffing at a steady pace through the frost-covered countryside. People who were standing in the fields waved and cheered them on as they made good time. As they reached Horsted Keynes, Stepney began to feel a little tired. He was about to say something to the others when, "Keep going, dear brother," shouted Fenchurch. "You can do it." "Gorn, Stepney! Gorn, Bluebell! Gorn, Birchgrove!" cheered Adams. Any and every engine who was there in the sidings was encouraging the cavalcade to keep on going. "We can do it! We're going to get to East Grinstead no matter what condition the rails are in, or whatever condition I'm in," said a determined Stepney. A little while later, they arrived at Kingscote to take on water. "How are you holding up, Stepney?" asked Birchgrove. "Not too bad, old friend. A little sore, but nothing too serious yet." "It's a climb all the way to our destination," worried Bluebell. "If you do feel like something's wrong, please let us know right away." "I sure will, Bluebell. Before we leave, though, I just want to thank you both. I know I'm not as strong as I used to be, and I'll most likely be waiting a while for another proper overhaul. It's why I've been so determined to do a good job and go out on my own terms before wasting away on display." "I wouldn't look at it like that, Stepney. Sure, it can take a while for us to be restored, but that's because there's over 30-plus engines living here on this line. True, the cost for an engine to be restored nowadays is high, but regardless of that, it doesn't take away the fact that we're Bluebell engines nonetheless, and nothing will ever change that." "You're right, Birchgrove. We're Bluebells forever, each and every one of us," shouted Bluebell. It was lucky for Stepney that Bluebell and Birchgrove couldn't see his face, as the tired old engine had been reduced to tears. It was then the guard blew his whistle again to get the train going. "Bluebells forever!" cheered Stepney, as the old engine's wheels gripped the rails to get the empty coaches moving over the new extension. The three engines marveled at the amount of work that had been put in over the years to get the railway to this point. Presently, they came to a viaduct, which towered over many houses which lay below. On the other side of the bridge lay the town of East Grinstead. "We've done it! We're over the border and back on the big railway. Mission accomplished!" Tired but triumphant, the three engines proudly entered the station to a brass band playing congratulations. The platform was full of people, all eager to board the train back down. At last, with one final effort, they brought the train to a smooth and comfortable stop at the station. "Well done, all of you," cheered the manager. "I'm very proud of you all. The line is mostly all downhill back to Sheffield Park, so I'm sure you'll manage the full trip fine. Stepney, I think today's events have proved you are in need of a long rest and some major repairs." He paused dramatically. "But I can tell you're not quite ready for that just yet. So when you get to Horsted Keynes, I want you on brake van rides on the Ardingly Spur. It's not much, but I think this arrangement will suit everyone until we are forced to take you out of service. Is that okay with you?" "Don't worry, sir. I have no issues with this arrangement at all." "Splendid. Now please move forward and let Birchgrove run around to the front of the return train. We still have a schedule to keep." "Right away, sir," agreed Stepney, as he and Bluebell advanced forward. When the engines were in place for the return journey, Stepney was left facing the town. As the train got under way, he watched as the town of East Grinstead began to trail away from him, knowing it would probably be the last time he would see the town for a while. "Goodbye, East Grinstead. I look forward to seeing you again. Someday." "Is everything okay, Stepney?" interrupted Bluebell. "It certainly is, Bluebell. It certainly is." The two old engines said no more as they puffed along with their train of passengers, who had all come to see them work the same little line they had worked for the last 50-odd years. A line known to many that was simply called the Bluebell Railway.